Greetings and salutations. Greetings, man and man from Warren Point to Negril. It's here again. We ask the question, where they God man them there? Man and man. We're in at the place. It's a brand new episode inside the program designed for men with guests who are men hosted by men. This is the mailbox here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101, your family station. Can you imagine September 13, 2023, a beautiful afternoon in Kingston City, Jamaica. If you are new around here, welcome. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. So ensure you jump over. I am Kevin Bailey, and my co-host is here with me, Courtney.
Hey Kevin, how are you? I'm Courtney Morrison, and we're excited for what's in store and in lineup for you today. For the past month, we've really been zooming in on our young men. This week, right into September, we'll focus on moving Jamaica forward, the man's perspective. It's important for us to look forward to growth and development, and we love to hear what our men have to say. Without their voice, there would be the absence of one of the genders, wouldn't there be? But Kevin, how was your weekend? What has it been so far? Today is Wednesday. Jamaica drew 2-2 with Haiti yesterday after being down 2-love. They thought they would have had an easy road, but it was not an easy road.
Brother, not an easy road. We continue to salute our men in Jamaica land. We love, those who are really taking their responsibilities and making, good examples, role models in the midst of the challenges. We just have some wonderful, great set of men setting example for our boys. Very proud of that. And just want to big up a friend there, Imelda Allen from Maranatha Gospel Assembly. She must tell you hello, Courtney. She listened to the mailbox every Wednesday. And so many of our ladies, are supporting us and encouraging us. So I felt very encouraged. But it has been a good weekend with all the challenges. There's just so much hope because all things are possible with God if we only believe. And so great to be here, Courtney. How about you? What's happening?
Hey, quite a number of things. September 12th was Hurricane Gilbert's anniversary.
Mhm.
But I also had a couple of friends who celebrated birthday on that day.
Ah,
Karuna Gardner, who's there in Florida, and my own goddaughter, Jamelia Mead, daughter of O'Neill and Odette Mead, who, man, wonderful, promising young lady, just doing well. Congratulations, happy birthday. I saw you guys celebrating. I saw the pics, them looking good, you know. So this weekend in itself was one where um, Carl John Morrison and Camille Morrison dedicated Caleb Josiah Morrison at Fellowship Tabernacle in Kingston, done by the Reverend Al Miller. So I am Grandpa Uncle Courtney.
hey, congrats, man.
And so to all the family members who are there, congratulations, Carl John. You're doing a fantastic job. Congratulations, Camille. Make it work, girls and men.
It is so good to see young couples and following through great footsteps, role models set and taking on their own responsibilities and commitment. And this is what we're here for. Every Wednesday when we meet like this, we want to challenge, encourage, empower our men, our boys to become all that they were created to become. And what an opportunity we have across the length and breadth of Jamaica land we love. And this is our privilege, our honor to be doing this program. So, Courtney, we're talking about moving Jamaica forward, the man perspective. What are we going to be looking at, Courtney? What are we going to be looking at?
Well, some of the questions we want to ask are: is the growth of Jamaica dependent on the value of our currency? Big question that.
Wow.
Is the growth of our the country's development dependent on the value of our currency? We know it's $155 on an average as to what it values to the one US dollar. Second question, our culture is a major asset to our country. How can we use this to our advantage or disadvantage? Reggae music, track and field, or football. We have such a wide variety of culture here. Oh, we're seen as a Christian nation. Let us remember that is part of our number one culture. Agricultural growth, and is it pertinent to the development of our nation? How can we capitalize on our local produce and businesses? Many people don't even know. But we had a chocolate factory here in Jamaica, and by documentary facts, it stated that our chocolate had a component in it that made it better than all other dark chocolates that exist. It's something we need to revisit. In order to grow, does a nation have to become comfortable in passing the torch from Kevin's generation to my generation? No, from the older generation to the younger generation. That's what we're talking about. And the traditions can make or break a society. What are some traditions that Jamaica can let go of? And what are other traditions that we should maintain? Our guest this week is Jaheim Douglas. Welcome, Jaheim. I hope you're there with us. Those listening in on Radio Land. Kev?
Yep. Welcome indeed. We are going to have this conversation with Jaheim Douglas. And, well, Madam Man, it's good to be with you in this space. Remember, we want to hear from you. We want to have the conversation. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. You can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. We're talking about moving Jamaica forward, and we believe in growth and development. After all, we have been given the mandate to be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth, use the resources God has allotted to us as good stewards. So our children would have the dream of knowing that we can all make it happen. So great to see our youngsters going to school. And I want to just congratulate those who have done very well. You're very happy to be at the school where you are. And to say to the others, wherever you are now, you may not feel so comfortable, you may not be so excited, but I want you to do your very best. Just do
Yes.
your very best, and the word says, if you seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, all the other things are going to follow back at you. So you
Amen.
just keep that heart there and keep faith and work very hard. And I'm sure that God is going to reward you.
Yes, bloom where you're planted. You don't have to go to Kingston College or Morant Bay High to be
I,
great.
I tell them.
Wherever you are, just know that greatness exists inside of you. God gave you that greatness before He actually put flesh on you and brought you into this world. So blossom wherever you are. Make that space the best space ever.
That's right.
Congratulations. Welcome back to school. All free paper,
Hey, well, Courtney, look like we are having Jaheim Douglas. Hi, Jaheim. Welcome to the mailbox. Are you here? Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Bless you. Hearing me?
Oh,
Yes,
yes, we
Jaheim.
are loud and clear. Welcome back, sir. Good
Much
afternoon.
appreciated.
How are you?
I am doing quite well. Thanks for having me. Bless you.
You are so welcome. Great to be seeing you and great to have you. It's a privilege and honor. And to get your perspective on some big questions. Oh my gosh, what a lot of big questions they have for you. But just to start off, we want just for you to give us a little feel when you think of moving Jamaica forward, just a synopsis of what are we talking about? What comes to mind, in moving this precious country forward, Jaheim?
Well, we're a Christian nation, right? We're a body of people that I believe love God. But since lately, I have realized that a lot of strange, can I say, spirits have crept into our nation, and because of such, we are more hateful as a nation. We're not doing as much stuff as we used to do with love. As such, I will strongly believe that through love, we could push Jamaica forward. And love is unity. And without unity, we are trapped. Right? So that's my to take on, we going forward as a nation, we would have to do it with love.
Excellent. Let's tell you a little bit about Mr. Jaheim Douglas. He's a former teacher at the Enid Bennett High School. That's Dwayne Park, that's all. Now, business owner and Jamaica Stock Exchange investor. So if you want to know how to invest your money, speak to him. He's a speaker, well-rounded ambassador for growth and development, and in his youth, which he still is in, strives to be an example of progress for the people that he comes in contact with. He's an influencer. He's one that seeks to have change. But before we even hear further as to who Jaheim is and what he's about today, don't move a muscle. We're going to take a break and we're going to be right back to hear why the man should really be one of those who tells us about how to move forward. We're also going to just ask him the difficult questions. This is the mailbox. We take a break and we're going to be right back after these messages.
Integrity man, I am a man. Hey man, I am a man, I am a man, I am a man. Yes, strong man. Integrity man, I am a man. Man. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man.
Cubby's Baby Wipes is ideal for your baby's delicate skin, infused with vitamin E and aloe vera, and available for home or on the go. The time by Cubby's Baby Wipes is
5:45.
At Flow, we are determined to get it right. Now, over 60% of Jamaica has access to our Fiber Fast network, with over 800 communities being upgraded since 2020. And there's more to come. Everything we're doing is inspired by our harshest critic, you. Join Jamaica's Fiber Fast network and rediscover Flow today.
Jamaica Central Bank digital currency is now here. Jamex, no cash, no problem. Step into a future of ease, convenience, and security. Conduct business with your mobile device, instantly and without fees. This is how life should be with Jamnex. You get your free. Jamnex and the real free. Use it to buy a store or TV. You can buy your shoes or 3Ps. The Central Bank digital currency. No cash, no problem. Jamnex, backed by the Bank of Jamaica.
Bible Society of the West Indies now has Bibles in stock for back to school. All versions are available at reasonable prices. Quantity discounts for bookstores and retailers. Visit them at 24 Hadley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. You can call or WhatsApp them at 876-339-3501 or email them at biblehouse@biblesocietywi.org.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
In 2022, 51 projects were completed under the Urban Renewal Program. This includes zinc fence removal, installation of solar lights and street signs, and the upgrade of parks and green spaces. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is reviving the urban landscape, renewing communities for a better tomorrow.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes.
Welcome back to the mailbox. This is Love 101 FM, your family station, and this is where we have a meds, a whole of meds with a man them every Wednesday, 5:30, and we're very happy, very honored to have Jaheim Douglas in the place. And Courtney, I think you, before we took the break, you were about to ask Jaheim some questions. And so
Yeah, I'm happy when we have guests like Jaheim here with us because he's the one that's doing the answering. We have the easy part. We ask the questions. He's he's in the hot seat. And so We want to remind our listeners just before I ask Jaime a couple of questions that you can hit us up on Love 101's YouTube channel and Facebook page. Remember, this evening we go all the way up until 6:30, as we do every Wednesday at 5:30 until 6:30. So we just want to ask him some of the questions that we would have presented to you before Jaime even came on the screen. So, Jaime, Mr. Douglas. Question number one. I'm deliberately doing this. Is the growth of Jamaica dependent on the value of our country? But before you even answer that, I want to know from you personally, how do you see the growth and development in Jamaica? What's your idea? What's your notion? What should it look like? And then tell me in connection with that, is our Jamaica currency something that our growth is dependent on? You're a JSC investor, right?
Right. Right.
Talk to
So
us.
we can look, and I won't talk about the JC. We know that the JC is doing good now. But let me say, a growing Jamaica is a country, whereas young people are employed, right? Cost of living is decent, and we have less people in poverty. So until we see that, then Jamaica is stagnant. Let me just say that, and that's just the harsh truth, right? For your question now, yes and no. The reason why I said yes, it is dependent on our currency. We money not have no value in reality. If you look at it, minimum wage I believe is around $9,000. Around $9,000.
I think so.
Around that. And I was talking to a friend of mine recently who works as a security guard. And I was asking him how you do it, and let me be quite real. To take a bus from Spanish Town to Halfway Tree is $150. To get from there to Crossroads, the next $150. Same thing to go home. That is $600, right? That's $600 a day. Now, $600 plus a box food. So we say we find the cheapest box food possible in Crossroads, because he works in Crossroads. The cheapest food there is say $550. And say my friend can't afford a juice, right? Same can buy a water. He's back $1,200. Now $1,200 daily times 5 is a lot of money to be deducted out of $9,000.
$6,000.
That's around $6,000. So we're gonna deduct 6,000 from the 9. Can you really eat dinner, pay his bills, and do all of this? No. So I will say, listen, the currency, because of the currency, we have a stagnant Jamaica. But there are things that we can do to better Jamaica, even though the currency is like this, right? For example, using our resources. I won't even go into the natural resources, but using what we have, right? Using what we have and stop the unnecessary importing. And I'm not referring to the government now. I'm referring to us as Jamaicans who we need tissue. We're buying tissue off Amazon. You understand? And it is bad for a dollar. So we can start by doing some simple stuff like this. What we don't need to import, we don't import it. And we can start small until eventually the government will get it right and Jamaica will be a better place.
So, Jahim, I am hearing you say that in reality, there are challenges. There are difficult times when we look at our currency and the fact that our purchasing power has decreased.
Right.
Yes, over the years. At the same time, you're saying we're not helpless or hopeless, that we can become resourceful. And you spoke about our our tendency to import stuff instead of exporting, which is causing a stress on our exchange rate. would that mean though a mindset change? Because Jamaican does love foreign things. Jamaican is like say if the thing no come from foreign, it no good. And what I'm hearing you say is wake up man. We have some great things here in Jamaica. Turn your hand, make fashion. How we going to change that mindset? How do we go about changing that, Jahim? What are your thoughts on that?
Or influencers locally. I'm just off the dome. Or influencers or sports persons, they get a lot of international traction, right? And they are brand ambassadors for the Nike and the Puma and the Adidas and these stuff. But what if we could pitch something to our investors, to our influencers? By doing this, the younger generation, which in reality is kind of the problem. If you pitch this to the Usain Bolt or a Shellian or some of our upcoming artists in the dance hall space, if we could pitch good ideas to them and let them be ambassadors for our local goods, I believe it will be impactful on the younger generation, right? Because when we look and we say, Usain Bolt, in the Puma, you know, I am pumped to go buy a Puma because listen, a Usain Bolt have it on. I want to buy that. When I see Shelly in this and that, I am pumped to buy. For example, when we see Shelly, the females see Shelly in the pink wig, we realize that the females starting to wear the color wig. You understand? When we see Usain Bolt have on the watch with the multicolor on it, it becomes a statement in Jamaica. What can we do with our local businesses? Can we use and push it to them and help them to, let's say help them, but let them be the ones who are the ambassadors, right? And if they are the ambassadors, I strongly believe that our people will look to the Jamaican brands.
I agree fully. There was a song many years ago about having a foreign mind. Having a foreign mind.
Mhm.
We is it that we really don't focus enough on what we have that is so unique? As I was mentioning before, even our own agricultural produce, we had chocolate, we had, if I'm remembering clear, it was Highgate Food chocolate, chocolate par excellence, and yet still it was shut down. We need to start pushing our brands and just doing something. That's a way to help us move forward, isn't it?
Right, right.
Yeah. But when it comes on to agriculture, we are recognizing as well that some of our, I don't know if it's our soil content, Kevin, that has something fantastic in it that cause that the fruits, our melons, our papayas, they have an exotic taste. How can we best push those things, Jain? How pertinent is agriculture to our moving forward?
And let me say this. There's a issue, and here what's the issue. For example, I have a family member who is a farmer, right? And his fruits are amazing. But he had a mindset that listen, I don't want anybody else to co-own my business, right? Because if they co-own my business, they're going to end up running my business, and I don't want that. So because of such, let me do my small thing and try to sell it in the market, right? And you will have a next man, a bigger business that will have the bigger, equipment and stuff to push out more quantity and better products. And because of that, that man will excel, and this man over here is still doing small. So I strongly believe before we can even say, what can we do, the mindset first of the farmers need to change. You understand? Everybody is divided, and it's not a matter of unity in agriculture in Jamaica. And because of such, we have the issue that we have today. So I won't say, the government is at fault, or, what we can do on the outside of agriculture. What can the farmers do? And I think, if they can pull their resources together, and I think it's lack of knowledge also, because they lack knowledge, business knowledge, and every man is to themselves. If they understand that, listen, if we come together and we do this thing cohesively, let us do it together, we will have a better outcome, right? That's one of the
Certainly.
things. So it's simple as that, the mindset of our farmers would need to change before we can go forward in agriculture in Jamaica.
That's so true. We have a certain vegetable matter that is also considered, that has been decriminalized, that even its own taste apparently is great out there in the market, and we still are not able to market it, although so many people come here to Jamaica to get it. We're up on another break. You're listening to the program, The Mailbox. I'm Courtney Morrison. My co-host is with me, Kevin Bailey, and we have our guest, Jaheim Douglas. We're talking about moving Jamaica forward, the man's perspective. We'll come right back after these messages. Just stay right there.
Strong man, integrity man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. Yes, strong man.
Why suffer from heartburn, gas, upset stomach, or indigestion? Get fast, effective, long-lasting relief from Benjamin's Antacid. Benjamin's Antacid works faster than a hot cup of tea. Benjamin's, the trusted name for over a century.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6 o'clock.
Need to pass your CSEC CAPE exams to get that dream job or to qualify for university? Then Distinction College is the school for you. We have locations in Kingston, Spanish Town, St. Elizabeth, and Ocho Rios. Start day, evening, and Saturday classes this coming term and sit CSEC CAPE exams for January's resit or May, June. Maths, law, science, English. We have the lowest school fees. Register before the end of the month and win an entire term free. Call us at 354-8560.
Get ready for a nostalgic time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jakal Dyer, this Thursday, September 14th. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are in the feature Becoming You. Grab your cup of coffee and make us start the day right with the Morning Coffee Pick Me Up devotional at 6 a.m. Then at 7 a.m., we bring you the Morning Watch with intriguing and thought-provoking discussions. 8:40 a.m., we take it up a notch inside How Would You React with scenarios and situations that make you stop and wonder, what would I do? What would I really do? 9:30 a.m. is the Voice of Power, brought to you by the Power of Faith Ministries. Stick and stay with us. This Take Me Back Thursday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101. Celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and this Friday, September 15 at 8:30 a.m., Love 101 FM will be live on location at the Jamaica Cancer Society, 16 Lady Musgrave Road, Kingston, as they raise awareness about this disease under the theme #WhyDelay? Get checked for prostate cancer. Also, over the course of September, the Jamaica Cancer Society and Guardian Group Foundation will be conducting free screenings in Montego Bay, Mandeville, and Port Antonio in partnership with Cornwall Regional Hospital, Port Antonio Hospital, and Villa Medical Center. That's the Jamaica Cancer Society Prostate Cancer Awareness broadcast this Friday, September 15 at 8:30 a.m. Listen for Something More, brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center immediately after the broadcast, here on the family station, Love 101.
Trying to drive you on. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man.
Integrity man, I am a man. Welcome back to the Mailbox. Here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. right here on Jamaica's favorite gospel station, might say the Caribbean favorite gospel station, Love 101 FM. I am Kevin Bailey here, my co-host Courtney Morrison, and we have our very special guest Jaheim Douglas with us. So if you are joining us right now, welcome. Jaheim, we need to have a kind of collaboration between the younger generation and the older ones like Courtney. How do we make sure
Yes, the younger
that
one, Courtney. Yes.
how do we have this kind of smooth transition? And from where you sit, are we having it as a young man in Jamaica? Do you feel good that the older ones like yourself have done a good work? Do you feel you're getting the baton and in a good place so that you can build on what we have established to make this country greater? What's your perspective on that?
All right. So currently, I live with a 85-year-old grandmother, and there are some principles that she have, and I tend to differ at times, but sometimes there is a mutual ground of understanding. And let me say this: I think sometimes the older generation, way of speech, maybe a little bit harsh. Sometimes it comes from a place of love, but I don't think our youths can really look at it and differentiate, So there's an issue there. But let me say this.
Sorry,
If
Jaim, what you mean by that? Give us an example of what it is, because I want our audience to get it,
Right,
and because sometimes it might be a blind spot on our part. We don't understand
right.
how you're receiving it. But so give us an example or two if you can.
Okay, for example, she would say to me, Jahim, take up the plate. You understand? And she probably said a little bit too rough. And I don't like how she word it. I would rather she say, listen, Jahim, please go and take up the plate. Right? And it comes across, there's a little bit of discomfort there. But let me say this, if we can put aside, our small feelings and really look at what the older generation is trying to hint at us, I think the transaction of button would be much easier. You understand? But I think this generation is a little bit too emotional, and the older generation is more radical. There needs to be how should I put it, understanding ground between the older generation and the younger generation. And I really feel like, listen, it's not the older generation need to change their ways. It's the younger generation need to just look and adapt, to get the knowledge. Because in reality, is the knowledge is what is important. You understand? So put the little minor feelings. Sometimes the older generation word stuff differently. Their views are a little bit different. But try to get the general understanding of what they are saying. With enable us to move forward as a country, as a nation.
Thank you very much, Jaim. I have a little thing that just came to my mind that says a lot of the greatness of Jamaica is built upon the younger generation, a younger Usain Bolt, a younger Shelley Fraser, a young Paul Bogle, a young Bob Marley. But then I could be wrong. But indeed, as you said, the knowledge set would have been taught to them by someone older. So the collaboration, therefore, is important
It is.
for both the older and the younger generation in moving us forward. Without it, we're going to become stagnated. Without question, we're going to become stagnated. It's also said that traditions can make or break a society. What are some of the traditions you think as Jamaicans that we can let go of? And what are some of them that we should keep that continues to help to push us forward, Jaime?
No, this is a beautiful question. This is a beautiful question. There are some notions that are really incorrect. You understand that we hold on to dearly as a nation. And one of that notion is that, you know, if you don't work hard, if you're not sweating, you are not doing it properly. If you're not, bleeding on the fields, you are not doing anything good. That's a wrong notion. And we tend to hold on to it as a nation. We look and say, well, the contractor is doing a better job than the man in the office. You understand? Because we don't really need the office man. We the man them in the field that do a better job. And this is the notion that, the majority of Jamaicans would hold dear to. You understand? And it is a bad narrative. It's very bad for a nation, and the reason being, you know, we use this notion and we use it in business also. And because of it, we can say Jamaica is at a dark place. You understand? You will have a man that is a contractor who sticks to using the old hand method of mixing cement by hand and laying blocks with him hand and him do everything by hand, tie the steel with hand, everything with hand. And you have a next man that will form a group of Courtney, Kevin, and me and say, listen, let us come together, bring our resources together, buy some equipment so that we can get bigger work. You understand? And that would enable them to, have a better business, be more successful, help to grow the economy, and somebody else might say, listen, Kevin, Jaim, Sir Courtney, we're going to just do it by hand. Even though doing it by hand, made, you do it properly, it take a lot of time, certain places, if they need a hotel to build, we can do it by hand. A gated community, we can do it by hand. You know what I mean? So stuff like this, these incorrect notions can throw off our nation going forward. We're at a place now where technology is getting better and greater. We're using technology in farms. If you look at the farmer program, who is overseas, everything is becoming automated, right? And I think because of our mindset in Jamaica, we can't go forward because we still feel like, say, listen, we are supposed to be bleeding to actually do something good. And it's a very, very, very bad narrative that we hold dear to. That's a principle that we need to get rid of. And if we look at it and say, what are the principles that we need, what we can actually keep? And I strongly believe, well, it is lacking today. But Jamaica was a united place. Out of many one people, we were a united set of people. And I think if we hold true to that today, we as a country will go far. We'll go really far. All we need right now is unity and a listening ear. And I think we don't have the unity and we don't want to listen. And that's the problem we have today. So let me put it this way. If we hold true to the principle of love that was taught to us when we were young about our grandparents and our mothers and fathers, if we hold true to love, unity, and the same thing we say in schools, no man is an island, no man stand alone. If we can really look at that today and implement it in our lives, Jamaica will grow and grow even faster than the rate it is growing today.
Jaim, Douglas, gentlemen and ladies who are listening, having this conversation with this young man. You have been speaking about unity. Alvin Toffler says the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who can't read or write, but those who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. And I want you to comment specifically on the way we do governance, politics, for instance. You as a young person, are you seeing it differently the way our forefathers, others older? We have had a very divisive political history. I think we're getting better, but we still have this division instead of coming together for the betterment of Jamaica, like loving Jamaica more than our party, etc. What's the sense? What you young people are thinking and doing when it comes to looking at governance and how you choose leaders? Give me a sense of that. And is it that the way you're thinking will move Jamaica forward?
There's a statement that my wife always uses: teamwork is the dream work. And we look at politics today and listen, young people aren't interested. And the reason for this, when we look at the both parties, they see a lot of issues. And they won't go in and fine tune and say, okay, right here says better than right there. So they just don't vote. You understand? And it's because really and truly what we have been seeing growing up, the younger generation is not interested in politics. Whatsoever, we're just not interested in politics. The older folks will still vote, but looking at it, seeing the representation, seeing what is happening, I don't mean to come here and bash, the JLP or the PMP whatsoever. But young people just won't be interested in politics. You know, there's a lot more going on. People are looking how to start business, how to go university, you know. Some looking how to scam people, you know, how to do this, how to go rob somebody, how to take away somebody for a ransom. That is the mindset of Jamaica today. Who no want go university, I try kill people. And they are not looking at politics. Because listen, we don't see politics as a safe haven. We don't see politics as a change. I think the parties have to do some damage control for the mindset of the young people to change. But really and truly, we are looking for a body of people that is united. You understand? And as it is now, politics in and of itself isn't united. So because of that, young people not gonna look at it. Look at what young people look at. They watch football and they watch movies. Football, movies, you know, track and field, they look to where unity is. And as soon as there's no unity, they start drifting away. Look at our music today. You understand? If you really listen, go on the road and listen. Even if you look at the scamming music, there's a level of unity there. It not necessarily is good unity, you know, but me and Courtney, maybe scammers and we sing scam music, you know, there's 2 million young people who is, you know, really to that, so they look to that. So there is unity. You know what I mean? And government really and truly right now, there's not even bad unity or good unity. There's no unity whatsoever. So because of that, you know, young people just aren't interested. So I think, as I said before, the government, you know, the PMP, the JLP, has to do some damage control, you know, to win the minds of the young.
Wisdom of Jaheim Douglas. Kevin, that's wisdom. If we have never seen that perspective before, you just heard it from Jaheim. The young people are looking for unity. If they don't see it, not interested. They're seeking how to further themselves and making themselves better. We are going to take our final break on the mailbox. It's Love 101, serving Jamaica for the last 30 years with love, music, fellowship. I guess sooner or later we'll include food. We're going to take a break. We're going to come right back after these messages.
Hey man! I am a man, yes.
It's time to wake up to profit. Hi, I'm Coach Kerr, your business coach. I help entrepreneurs to build a business that allows them to make money while they sleep. Join me on my new radio show, Wake Up to Profit, on Love 101 this September. I'll be sharing the strategies, tips, and tools you need to build a successful business online with drop shipping, print on demand, digital products, social media marketing, and more. Subscribe at wakeuptoprofit.com.
Listen to Wake Up to Profit with Coach Carr, Thursdays at 6:47 a.m. during Love in the Morning with Joker Dar. That's Wake Up to Profit with Coach Carr, Mondays at 6:47 a.m. right here on Love 101 FM, the family station.
Hey, my peeps, get this on the regular. Your HIV status, if you consider the least of a test once a year. Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Cause it might not show up on your timeline and you learn too late, so you're out of time. A progressive future, one the tour. Really long life, our story. You hear?
Remember, update your status in a real life. Go HIV test today.
Just 15 minutes and your status clear. Really long life, our story. Really long life, we say you, coming from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Get your Western Union back to school bonus from now until September 22. 50 winners of $10,000 every week. Millions in scholarships of up to $100,000 each. And double your Western Union money transfer in your GK1 wallet to get you ready for the new school year. You could be one of over 300 winners. Just download the GK1 app, receive a Western Union transfer in your GK1 wallet, and you're automatically entered to your back to school bonus. Visit gkmsonline.com for all the rules. Authorized under Section 58 of the Gaming Constitution.
I am a man, yes. Strong man.
Welcome back to the program, The Mailbox. I'm your host, Courtney Morrison. Along with me is Kevin Bailey, my co-host. So our guest is Mr. Jaheim Douglas. We're talking about moving Jamaica forward, the man's perspective. The scripture says, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Talk to us, Jaim. Once you hear it's exalts a nation, that sounds like development. That sounds like growth. What are some of the principles would the scriptures be talking about that, although it's general, will also help Jamaica in moving forward, causing it to be an exalted nation?
Well, I think I touched on it earlier. Love. We need love as a nation. We need love. You know, if we're doing business with love, it's a greater business. You know, zeal. We need confidence and we need passion, right? And I think as a business owner, also a lot of times we do stuff and we do it for the dollar, and it's not coming from a place of love and zeal. And I strongly believe, the billionaires out there and the millionaires, will say it. It takes passion, courage, bravery, to go forward. And we can do all of that only through love. So if we are going to excel as a nation, we will first need love, right? And I think that's something that has been taught for years in Jamaica, and I still believe that love is with us as a nation. But because of how hard things are today, sometimes we lean away from love. But to anybody listening, let me just say this. We need to get back to a place of love. The only thing that can really end poverty or decrease poverty and push, the GDP, the country forward is only love and passion. Right? So I will say this, holding true to what has been taught to us when we were younger is the only thing that can push us forward as a nation. Nothing new.
Thank you, Jahim. Of course, love is the most excellent way, according to the Apostle Paul. Tell us your perspective on church leadership and your own experience, because we are the body of Christ. We bear the light, the salt, and I dare say, aren't we supposed to be steering the country in a brighter place? How do you feel? How do you feel with the leadership you're seeing of the elders like Kevin and Courtney and others that you look up to, but speak the truth and just your own take, on church leadership. What's your perspective on that, Jahi?
And this is a sticky one. You put me in a sticky situation. I will try not to get controversial on the show. But let me say, Sir Courtney and Sir Kevin, this is an amazing platform. I strongly believe that somebody will be blessed. There's a young man listening, that will turn around and actually do the right thing. I strongly believe that there's a politician listening that will take it and push some good suggestions to the government, right? In churches today, some pastors, really and truly, they're trying to do their best, and you have some that really and truly they are preaching the Bible, but the lifestyle and what is being shown into the public is a total different thing. And because of that, the young and the old is walking away from the church. And it's quite hard to see sometimes. You're in a little church, you're throwing your tithes out of your minimum wage. And we just have to be real. Majority of Jamaicans are either working minimum wage or not employed. That's the reality. So it's only a little bit of Jamaica, a little small percentage actually in good jobs, making, say, decent money, right? You have a man will throw him in tithes and his offering, and only to see the pastor who is in full-time ministry, driving a $25 million Benz, it will lead you away from the church. And sometimes we see it, and even though nothing shall separate us from the love of God, yes, it is quite easy to walk away from the church seeing these things. You understand? And I really believe that the pastors, bishops, deacons should really read the Bible, read Acts, read and see what's there. what the apostles did, what the real Christians did. They sell what they had to further the kingdom. So I'm not saying to a bishop, go ahead and sell your house and your car. But I'm saying, if you can do a treat, if you can help out a little young man in the church, and I will say this too, not only to the leaders, but to that person who is going to buy that Clark's to wear Friday to the dance, and it's only one time he's going to wear. Try and invest in the younger generation. These are the small steps that can, really and truly push Jamaica forward. I think we are looking for a big push, like these gates open from heaven and money gonna drop out of it. We don't think to see a little small stuff that we do will actually help to change Jamaica over the next couple of years. So I'll say this: start small, pray, and see the change in Jamaica.
Thank you, Jaim. We're talking to Jaim Douglas here on the mailbox. We've been doing this program for the last 11 years, Kevin and I. And we're quite grateful when persons like yourself, Jaim, are able to make the time and speak with us. But it came to me as well, just as you were speaking, that even for church leadership, Kevin, that the young people are looking for the same thing they are looking for in the leadership of the country, the unity, the coming together, the love, the mercy, the justice. And I don't believe they're seeing enough of that. They're seeing a divided church by denominations, by perspectives, and the different interpretations we may have of the scriptures. And if we would show each other, just as you spoke of that bedrock called love, where Jesus even says, love your enemies. Now, that is not easy, but it is a perspective and it is a persuasion, better yet put, that we must have. The unity, I believe, is what is actually beating us. My good friend, Judge Paul reminds us that the minimum wage is now at $13,000 per week and not 9,000. Thank you very much for interjecting that for us. I thought so, but I wasn't sure myself. I thank you for actually confirming. Jaim, one last word from you here, as time seemed to have run out, encouraging those of us who may not be seeing the hope or may not be seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, as we sometimes put it, and think that Jamaica is nowhere to live. Development will always elude us, and so we try to run to another country. I'm not blaming anyone where you see that it can become better for you, but even looking at the crisis, it is said of our teachers migrating for different jobs. What hope can you give us, our young men, especially seeing that this is the mailbox at this time, that Jamaica can look forward for development and growth here, Jamaica land we love?
I can really see, that people losing hope. It is a reality. But let me just remind somebody that Dubai wasn't built in one day. You understand? The great places, the US of A wasn't built in one day. Jamaica has only been independent less than 100 years. And I can strongly say we are doing quite okay. Even though sometimes it may look a little bit rough, it can only get better and better over time. So let the change start with you. Don't look to the pastor or the prime minister for the change. Let the change start with you. Can you start a movement? Can you encourage your friend to change also? Can that friend encourage your other friend to change? Each one win one. By you starting something by the end of the year, you can probably tell 50 people to change and we can have a revolution. So let the change start with you. The change start with you, start with me, start with Sir Courtney, Sir Kevin. By over time, we only have 3 million people, living in Jamaica. So each one win one. Little bit of people, you start the change, encourage the change, and over time Jamaica will be a great nation.
Wow. Thank you, dear Jahim. and really appreciate your wisdom, your insight, and your forthrightness. We need to hear the perspective of the young men specifically. And so we're very honored and privileged to have you sharing like this. So thanks again. And thanks to our producer, Trishan S. Brand, to Timoy Butler for technical support. Yes, our very special guest was Jaheim Douglas today.
Hey, this is a program that's hosted by men whose guests are men and designed for men. And indeed, we want to leave you with this quote: we dream of nation building. We cannot achieve this by fomenting social divisions. Exactly. Love is where it's at. Rajnath Singh says that. Catch you next week, same place, same time, right here. Next week, Monday.
Monday.
Blessings.
Yes, bless up.
Pretty man, I am a man. Hey man, I am a man, I am a man, I am a man. Yes, strong man, integrity man. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, I am a man. Yes, strong.